into the pickup. And we are done. Good, good, good. So I can put the truck away. I don't think I need the semi for the canola. I will need it, I think, for the sunflower. Definitely for the corn. Although the corn we're going to be doing forage. And we'll see. Probably end up using one of the high tip trailers on the back of the forage harvester if it'll take it, because then I can set a worker off on the forage harvester and cart with probably this truck and the Challenger whilst the harvester is still doing its thing. It's one of the annoying things about forage harvesters. They don't lend well to one-man operation unless you can figure a way of having the forager doing stuff. I mean, obviously a little bit easier with follow me because you can offset the cart, but even then they tend to get in the way of each other. I don't think I pushed that all the way back. Just a thought. I think I did that. Okay, that flatbed's a lot longer than the other trailers in there. But with the high tip, you can unload into a cart, and I don't think an organ wagon will take chaff. Fairly certain it's not happy with. Okay, what else do we put in? Oh, we put in the cart on the back of the Challenger goes in there. Okay, you are you, and you are the other one. So, engine on, follow, jump out, engine on, go. So we'll pick up the Challenger on the back of this little train as we pass the main yard. Of course, the other thing is I forgot to change the maximum speed set for cruise control, so the worker will limit themselves to 9 miles an hour here, because I'm a bit of an idiot. So we'll get down to the yard and we'll mess around with cruise control settings so we can actually follow at 20. Because otherwise this trip will take all day. So I'll run past a bit so that the Fent will, or the Valtra will eventually catch up to us. We'll go grab the Challenger. Okay, you are set to a maximum speed of 13 miles an hour. Let's push that up to 39. So yeah, when you're using follow me and equipment's not following you at best speed, it's probably because you did limit vehicle speed. And the same is true if it's if a worker is working a field. You know, you're trying to cultivate a field. Yes. And the worker's doing it at 3 miles an hour, then chances are you've messed up and you've got a speed limit set. Okay, we can roll this down to, I don't know, field 15 maybe? Charlie and George are following us. Of course, obviously the other problem I have is pulling out at the end here. Oh, look. The weather is saying weather is coming. So I think that means rain within the next 3 hours, potentially. We're not going to finish the canola today. Okay, no vehicles coming. No vehicles coming, so you should all get out of here and onto the road before any calamity befalls us. Well, certainly looks good. Try not to ram into the car. Now I can't remember if the street signs on this side road that we're about to turn into are physical objects or just images. If they're physical objects, you can get tied up on them. If they're images, you can just drive straight through them. Okay. So, oops, and unfortunately, as before, this is the edge of the map. And the edge of the map is quite a good distance away from the hedge. Oh, worker off. Go. So I think what I'm going to need to do is, again, keep the header away from the edge. So we're probably good around there. And then Challenger, you do not need to be following him quite so closely. Back off a bit, try not to run over the neighbour's whatever he's growing. And we'll park up on this side of the road, a bit further up. So I need room for the harvester to do its thing. So what is this? This is alfalfa. Pretty purple flowers. Nice. Well, again, somebody assigning me stuff when I'm not working. It's always a good laugh. Like I said, because we're on the edge of the map and we steer from the back wheels, that causes, like a boat, the back end to steer out, not the front. So it's kind of difficult to get away from a map edge unless you do it in reverse. Okay, we attach that. Back off a touch. That should give us enough room to get the Valtra out of the way. So again, I'll park it off on the left here. So that it's well out of the way. And then obviously once we've harvested the field, we have a lot more leeway to turn around. Right now, let's get this canola harvest started. Very, very small canola harvest this year. Normally I'll do 2 fields of canola. And then it varies. But the field just to the north of here, I believe we've got the sugar beets in. Anyway, so low density crop, we're going to make it much further around the field, potentially all of it, before we need to offload. Maybe not. How far have we got so far? Yeah, not bad. I think part of the problem here now is going to be running along that edge of the field. There may not be enough room to unload on the grass verge. See here. Yeah, that's how much room we've got. That might actually hit the edge of the map from the edge of the field, which means the Challenger has no room to unload us. But anyway, we'll see. We're getting a okay yield on this field. Again, the soil condition isn't the greatest. We have close to ideal pH, close to ideal. I think that actually we do have ideal nitrogen levels. It's going to be interesting to see what we get in Farm Sim 22 precision farming, because supposedly now that they've added weight as a thing in Farm Sim 22, all vehicles are listed with weight, and if you use realistic loading weight or whatever the checkbox is, it's basically on this screen. You've got the automatic engine start stop, stop go braking, and then underneath that you've got sort of a realistic weight limit, and that will limit what you can put in a tipper. So a tipper will have a maximum volume capacity. So like this is about 12,500 litres of grain in the tank, but it will also have a maximum weight of say 7 tonnes. So you can load it either with a maximum of 12,500 litres or a maximum of 7 tonnes, depending which one comes first. Now obviously if you're loading up with stones, because you've just stone picked a field, stones are heavy and you may only get 8,000 litres in your cart, but you're at the maximum weight, and that therefore does make quite a difference. Looking at base game equipment, you've got tippers. You've got things like this, which have a very low weight capacity compared to its volume. But then, do we have any half pipes? Yes. Something like this may have a relatively low literage compared with their weight. Oh no, this thing kind of a half pipe. This is 37,000 for 25,000 litres. This has a greater capacity and costs less. So the question then comes, why would I buy this? Well, the difference is that the weight allowance on this may be 16 tonnes, whereas the weight allowance on this is only 12. So I can carry rocks in the half pipe where I can't carry, or I can carry more rocks in the half pipe, and we're still not up to the volume limit. Whereas in a standard grain trailer you just can't carry quite as many rocks, so it'll take you more trips to the store to sell or dispose of. So those those trailers which have a low volumetric capacity and cost an arm and a leg aren't quite so limiting when you're carrying heavy stuff. Okay, I think what we might do here, honestly not sure we're going to make the edge of the map, but if we get too close, I'm going to stop along here and offload the grain we have, or the oil seeds that we have. In fact, I might stop here before we get to the trees. We'll go get the Challenger. So I don't expect a significant quantity of crop here. Oh, it looks like the cultivator's stopped again. I didn't notice that. Very helpful. The vehicle inspector under the tractor icon top left of the screen tells me what all of the vehicles are doing, either with a player in or with a worker. So if you put a worker on a harvester, you can watch how full the harvester is. If it's on a seeder, you can see when it's going to need more seed. But in this kit situation, obviously there's nothing significant about a cultivator, but I can see that it's working or not, and it's definitely not working. The harvester itself is not on a worker, so it's not an issue. What are you doing? Oh, you're trying to drive into the next field. I'd prefer you not to do that. So we're going to have to go down that edge. Now it's going to get a little bit more challenging. Well, it's going to be a little bit more challenging across the top unless I give it a headland to limit how far it's going. So I think that's what we'll do here. Like I did on that easterly edge of the field, to stop it ploughing up the potatoes, or sugar beets. Potatoes I think are in that field. Just running along here creates the turnaround point a little bit deeper into the field, so the trees on the other side of the lane are less of an issue for the worker. I'm going to have to run back to that corner again. To get the worker heading the right way. Well, I could head down there, but whatever. Is that raised? Yes. Okay. So, round about 90, I hope. Well, I don't know. I'll turn a little bit to the right. So if I get it wrong, it's going to triangle into the field rather than away and leave me a big wedge straight out. Actually, looks like I've got a fairly good angle here. Okay, no bothers. And you are finally empty. Engine on, thing down, pipe in, let's go. Because obviously the other risk here, which real life farmers would be concerned with, is how close am I getting to the trees? Because the last thing you want is the limb of a tree smashing your pipe. So ordinarily they would do a counterclockwise loop, and then a then from there onwards clockwise. But problem here is, since we are not going to make... Helper B has completed their task. Helper B, you have not completed your task. But I think for right now, we're on a pretty straight line here. I can set that on a worker. Okay. You need help. Actually, now what we can do is we can do this island. Then we'll figure out the top in a minute. But I need to get back to that harvester because it's going to do a turnaround at the bottom and fill up before it gets up to the top. So the pipe will be on the wrong side and all sorts of grief. So we will set you up like that and off you go. Let's go find the harvester. And brakes on. And turn the thing on. Problem is if I don't apply the brakes before I send the worker home, you end up carving up a ton of crop because we're rolling downhill. Anyway, that's 2 headlands again. And then we'll see about the rest of the field. Oh. Time 12:15, so I still think we're on a good time frame for weather. No, that's not the button I want to push. That's the button I want to push. Weather report. Yeah, it's approximately 3 o'clock. We're going to get inclement weather, and at that point we stop harvesting. Farm Sim 22 is a little bit of an issue because you can harvest when it's raining, but your yield is drastically cut. I'm not sure if it says, hey, it's a really bad idea to harvest while it's raining if you're harvesting and then it starts raining. But if you drive out to the field while it's raining and turn the harvester on, that will trigger the, hey, this is a really bad idea because it's raining message. Unfortunately, you do not own this land or do not have access to this land is a higher priority message than the, hey, it's a really bad idea to harvest. So if you're on a map where the edge of the field is the edge of your owned land, it'll tell you, hey, you don't own this land, so you can drive onto the field and start harvesting, but you've lost the opportunity for it to display the, hey, it's a really bad idea to harvest while it's raining. So I think, bottom line is you need to figure out what you can and can't harvest in bad weather. So, for example, I think sugar beets and potatoes you can harvest with no yield penalty when it's raining. But, corn, cotton, wheat, all of those crops, if it's raining, you can harvest it, but you will get a yield penalty. So just don't do it. Don't do contracts when it's raining, because you might not succeed in completing the contract. Ask me how I know this. Because I didn't see the message that says it's a bad idea to do this harvest while it's raining. But I did see the message that says you don't own this land, so you can't, or this piece of equipment is for contracts only and you're not on a contract field. And completely missed the the bad idea message. So, yeah. Unfortunate. Got a lot of withered crop here. Okay, I think from our position we're probably going to make it entirely around the field. That much is certain. Our cultivator's still going, so that's good. Now, I might be able to make this turn, or I might not. I might not. Ugh. Well, I guess we're going to trash some hedges. So I should be able to empty this. I might do another once we're on the edge of the field, just set the worker off. This should get us up to about 20,000 load, or 25,000 load. So we have 5,000 capacity on the tipper. Not sure we're going to fill it up 5,000 before the turn, but I can run a worker down that left edge and we can unload on the run. On the move. Please start the engine. Okay then, I can do that. But that edge of the field is quite, because it's along the edge of the map, it is directly east-west, I think. Looks like it. So the worker will follow it quite nicely. Oh look, guess what? Cultivator has done the cultivation thing. And obviously, since the harvester unloads so slowly, we've got a little bit of time here to do some stuff. Let's do some stuff down here.